Alright guys, basically I wanted to come back, make this next video, just share with you some essential information on how you can prepare a will. There's a big word for it. They call the big word estate planning. Once you own some level of possession, even if it's like a bicycle, that is considered your estate. So that's what we're talking about in this video. Jamaican parlance, them call it deadlift. I'll come back and share some more info with you. Keep watching.
Do you know the cleanliness of your enterprise affects your productivity? It is so important that the cleaning needs of your company are being served well.
Our employees' experience is our number one priority, and having a clean workplace that is maintained with integrity gives them a good feeling when they come to work, puts them in that positive mindset so they can do great things for us.
Alright guys, remember to like and to subscribe to this channel so that as soon as the videos drop, you can get information that can enhance your life. Many persons will know me as a local church pastor. Some persons will know me as a real estate practitioner. But there are so many things that I do. And one of the things that I do is to adjudicate petty sessions cases in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Now that's a big deal for some people. For me, it's always a humbling experience to hear the police call someone's name, summon them to come before me. The clerk questions them, and then I'm going to be thinking, what do we do with this person? This is like side information. People actually come from prison to court. Not everybody comes from their home. Let's say somebody misses a court session, then who sign a piece of paper, a warrant is written, and then the police picks them up to bring them to court. So guys, this thing that we're talking about, it's no joke. One of the things that I see constantly appearing before us whenever we sit in court, the matter of land battles, land settlements, like who owns this land. And that is where the threat and the assault, that is where they are fueled from. You'll find a brother like arguing with another brother saying that my mommy said I was the one who was supposed to live there. And that's why, guys, I want to talk about is estate planning. It is so essential in our lives because at some point, you and I, we're going to kick the bucket. So why not just start the thing out, get it out of the way, and then go live? Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. Writing a will is one of the ways that you are able to transfer property from one generation to another or from one person to another person. There are several other ways. For example, let's say you own a piece of real estate. You have a home or a land that you are in possession of. You own the land. Your name is on the title. You want to pass that on to your child, but you don't want to do that after you die now. You want to set up things now. It's simple. You can register the person's name onto the title so that even within your lifetime, they may have some right to that property. Of course, everything has its pros and cons. I won't go into that today because that's not what we are handling, the matter of joint tenancy. I don't want to go there. What I want to deal with is the will. A will is a legal document, believe it or not, it's legal. A legal document expressing your wishes that after your demise, you want your property, real possession, or it can be some chattel in your home like a lamp. You know, people have them home sweet home lamp. You want to pass on something like that to your family members. This is a piece of document that is legally binding and gives you the opportunity to pass that on without any confusion, or what we call in Jamaica, ray. To make the process easy, we need to talk about who is involved in the making of the will. So what is the will? The will is a piece of paper, but it's legally binding. And those will forms, you can get them from your local bookstores. You'll find it there. It's a very simple Very, very simple form to complete. And it says, I bequeath. It means I give. That's what you're essentially saying to so and so. And you list out what exactly you want to give them. All right, we'll come back to that. Let's talk about who is involved in the making of the will. All right, to begin with, you. You that want to pass on something, to give away something. You're considered the testator. You are going to testify in the will what is to be. I want to give away my house. I want to give away my car. Cool. The second person involved in the making of the will, or persons, second category, would be the executors. Who are the executors? Those are the persons that you need to give the will to, so that if anything should happen to you, they could stand up to say, we have a will, everybody let's gather and let's have that will read. Now, two things. You want to make sure that the executor is a fair person, and you want to make sure that it is more than one person. So executors, just in case one should die, it would leave somebody else to carry on. Or in case one is unwilling, a whole heap of something happen when it comes to an estate planning. Guys, you are dealing with human nature, so a bag of things will happen. It brings out the worst out of people when they find out that, hey, limited resources, and we're going to have to kind of fight to see who gets what. Yeah, you see a different side of people. Trust me. All right, so once you have that in your mind, who is going to be the executors for the will, there's no chronological order for this. The next category you can interchange between this and what I just said is the category of the witnesses. You need some persons who will be witnesses, two persons, and they should actually be present. Each of them should be present when you are writing up that will. They don't have to be present all together, like both of them be there at the same time, but both of them should be able to say they saw you making the will. So I think to ease the confusion, just have everybody right there. It is required that when the will is being written, you're not under duress. Nobody is forcing you, that you have mental capacity. If it's not that you are having that presence of mind to write that will, well, that thing is void. So if somebody is pushing you or forcing you because your mind just not dead right now, you're out of your mind, you're having a nervous breakdown, sorry, that will is going to be null and void. Once we have that will prepared, you're going to sign that thing. You can register that will at a government agency, have all this information in the description. And then upon the death of that loved one who constructed the will, wrote it, the executor is to signal that a will was left behind, and so wants to give his possession or her possession to so and so. And I'm going to be doing it on their behalf. John Doe wants to give such and such to Jane Doe. Have to be careful. Since I'm using that Doe thing, I want you to know that sometimes a will can be made void by way of marriage. So it's so important that even after getting married, that a new will be written. When do you write a will? When you get married, or if you get married again, you get remarried, or if there's a divorce, you write a will, or if there's a newborn baby, or if there's a death in your family. You need to go back and reconstruct that, because if the beneficiary has passed, it makes the whole thing void. You don't have anybody to receive that thing. Their children can't receive it because you wanted it to go to them and not their kids. I've seen this bring so much confusion in the system of the courts, or those who apply to the court for help. All right, guys. The executor reads the will, and after the reading of the will, the next step is for the will to be taken to the administrator general if you're in Jamaica. If you are in another country, you want to find out your respective jurisdiction. I've had all kinds of people ask me, what do I do? How do I make a will? Where do we go from here? Once you take that will to them, then something begins called probate. And probate is the process that makes sure the will is valid and that the estate can now be transferred. There are some taxes to pay, some inheritance taxes to pay, but trust me, guys, it is so important for you to make that will. That's one of the things that my mom, my dad never did for me. And so by the time I was 2, my dad passed. By the time I was 7, my mom died of cancer. There was nothing left behind. Life was a struggle. Got molested in the process. Just whole heap of antics. My grandma always said to me, you know, you need to get a will form. Go to the Portmore Mall. Go to the pharmacy. Get a will form. I wanted to have this house. She said it day and night. I wouldn't say she procrastinated. It was more that I procrastinated. So it's like a big deal for me. If you have watched on national television, if you have watched internationally, if you have listened to my messages from the pulpit, I have done special productions, whole heap of antics, gone in the Maypen Cemetery, recorded in the wee hours of the morning, just to bring to life this whole matter of the importance of estate planning. And I've shown that all across the country and across the world because I want to drive home the message to people that you could leave your family out in the rain if that umbrella is not over them. If you don't have a basic insurance policy, and an insurance policy is a little bit different from what appears on the will, you can put it on the will, but the insurer is going to give precedence to what was written in the covenant. So that's a whole different story. So whoever you wrote up to be the beneficiary, you the benefactor, you have to know that that's what they're going to work with. The insurance company is not going to work with what is in the will. They're going to work with what was written up in the covenant because that's a contract there. That whole thing over there is binding. So you can put something like that together. Make sure the beneficiaries are people that you are really wanting to have your stuff. For years, I would put people on, and these people are like haters. No, not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put people that love you. Put people that love you back. You love them. Them love you, and they are worth it. And constantly update your will. But how do I know them love me? How do I know this is the right move I'm making? I had friends, I would just put them on it because I really didn't have a lot of family. So I'd put my nieces on some stuff and then I would say, all right, you know what happened? I'm going to just itch on some people. Guys, we have to figure out which way we're going. There's like no time for indecision around here. And I said that really, really passionately because in many cases, I've done funerals too in the capacity of a pastor. I've stood there, buried people's dead time and again. That is like a common one. Not for money, not for nothing. Just doing it because we love people. And I've seen the pain. You know, grief is the price that we pay for love. I've seen the pain when loved ones have passed that their family members wallow in, not only because they have lost a loved one, but what's the way forward? What are we going to do next? It's like really, really rough out there, guys. And we're coming from a slavery culture. So we're not into settling lands and transferring lands. It's really how the white became rich. I'm not a Pan-Africanist. I'm not racist. I'm just giving it 100. They became rich because of inheritances and insurance, which is a form of inheritance. Not necessarily by way of education or by skill. Somebody put on some for them and they passed it on generationally. So you have to make up your mind what you're about. If you're not in love with the person, them don't love you back, them not show you that. Just be smart. Be smart. People like leave their estate to like cats and dogs. I'm not going to say do stuff like that because that's like really crazy. But what I'm saying is don't just leave it undone. There must be somebody, a society that represents your value system, the core values that power your life. Make sure you put something together, guys. Lastly, forget about all the religious fanaticism. I am saved, I'm walking with God, or some macho thing like I'm not gonna die, certain things will never happen to me, so I'm not going to write a will, I'm going to live forever. Nobody lives forever. Set it and forget it. When you put the things in place, you can now continue to live your best life. All right, looking for in the next video. Please share this with somebody. This is a whole lot of content that could really help people. The thing is so simple. You don't need a lawyer to write a will, guys. Your local justices of the peace or your notary public, if you're in Florida, or those places can help you to construct it. Watch the video. Contact me at the email address below. I'll just help you for free. Get the thing done. Bless up.